Hello everyone, I am Dr. Gausia Bashri from the Department of Botany, Aligarh Muslim University. Welcome you to today's session. In this session, we'll learn about various components of landscaping and gardening. In landscape gardening, every component plays a crucial role in creating a harmonious and functional outdoor space. These components differ greatly from one garden to another under normal circumstances, and our thoughtful planning and placing of these components make a garden beautiful. Here is a breakdown of the different components of landscaping and gardening, which include living components that comprise plants and non-living components that comprise of fountains, garden seats, its stones, floral clocks, tubes, vases and urns, etc. Plants are the heart of any landscape and create the soft escape of a garden. They offer privacy, improve air quality, attract pollinators, and can even cool the surrounding area. Choosing the right plants for your climate, soil, and desired aesthetic is essential. Plants are further categorized into herbs, shrubs, and trees. Trees and shrubs add vertically and define spaces, while herbs offer textural contrast and seasonal interest. In this way, plants add texture, color, and visual interest to the landscape. Now moving ahead to the first category of plants, that is herbs. Herbs are plants having non-woody stems and are smaller than shrubs. They provide a contrast that makes a landscape lively. Herbs are further classified into three types, that is annuals, biennials and perennials on the basis of their life. Annual herbs are plants that complete their life cycle in one season or in 1 year. They comprise several of the most beautiful and easily grown plants, widely varying in form and color. As we can see in this picture, beautiful flowers of balsam. Biennials are plants that grow in one season, flower, fruit and die in the next season. Biennials are grown in same way as annual and can be used similarly. Examples of biennial like gladiolus is showing in the image. The last type is herbaceous perennials. They complete their cycle in more than 2 years. They are useful in creating mixed borders or for pot culture like chrysanthemum as showing in the current picture. Perennials is also used in making of lawn. Lawn is a natural green carpet of a garden. It is ground cover made of our perennial fine grass which is maintained by continuous and close moving. The most common example is Cynodon tectalon, which commonly known as Bermuda grass or doob grass or commonly also called as Haryali grass. Other examples of different carpet greens are Korean grass and bluegrass. The next category of plants includes shrubs. Shrubs are perennial plants with woody stems which are smaller than trees but bigger than herbaceous plants. Some are attractive in their foliage, some produce attractive flowers, and some are grown for their attractive berries and fruits. Shrubs can prevent architectural features like glass doors and windows for conducting heat, thereby keeping the overall temperature of the interior down. On average, a landscaped house can save at least 40% on energy bills as compared to a house that lacks this feature. Flowering shrubs includes like bougainvillea and hibiscus sinensis. The examples of foliage shrubs like Moraya exotica, fragrant flowered like jasmine, these are the some examples of shrubs. Shrubs add many benefits to the landscape gardening like Being permanent, they form a part of framework of the garden. They form the chief features of landscape gardening, placed in front of tall trees and joining the spacious lawn. Shrubs which are amenable for frequent training are chosen for topiary work. Tall growing shrubs often serve as a screen. They are useful as a single specimen in the lawn. They can be trained to form a standard that is trained to single stem and allowed to branch out and form a handsome head on only above a particular height. The next category of plant is trees. Trees form the main framework of the garden. Trees are woody perennials with distinct trunks and is grown mostly for shade, flower, foliage and for other economic uses. Shady trees Shady trees are planted in chosen spots of large public garden which provide a place for picnics and relaxation. Such trees are also planted along the borders of roads as avenues for giving shade. Trees have immense beauty from aesthetic viewpoint. They bring the change in skyline on account of variation in their height, shapes, foliage texture and flower color. Moreover, trees serve as a windbreaks and shelter belts to help reduce air pollution and noise pollution. Trees like Delonix regia, which is commonly known as gulmohar, as shown in the current picture. The other categories of plants includes like climbers. Climbers are plants which possess a special structure to climb over a support like hooks. Example, Antigonan leptopus. And another category of plants like creepers are unable to climb vertically due to their weak stem and hence creep along the ground. For example, Videlia trilobata. Trailers are similar to creepers but do not form roots at nodes. Example, Trasgantia as showing in the current pictures. And next category, that is ramblers, are plants which fail to climb over but somehow support themselves over the trunk or stem of other plants like showing in this current picture, which is Quercus indica. Further, living component of landscaping and gardening includes ferns and selaginellas which provide beautiful foliage as seen in the upper two photographs. Cacti and succulents, bulbous plants, have underground perennial structure which help them to tide over unfavorable situations. Palm and cycads, bamboos create vertical spaces and grasses makes fine looking green lawn. Now we will study about the non-living components of landscaping and gardening. Decorations in the garden enhance their beauty. Careful selection and placement of these enhancements should improve the landscape's charm and quality. These non-living components provide and make the hard spacing of our landscape gardening. These non-living components includes fountain. Fountain breaks the monotony of a garden and add pleasing sound inside the garden. It can be used as a focal point. Musical fountains are gaining popularity. Nowadays, we can see in many public gardens musical fountain used for decoration purposes. Garden seats should be comfortable, durable, aesthetic and should not look out of space. Can be made of wood, iron, concrete, fiber or plastic. Other non-living components of gardens are ornamental stones. They add beauty to the gardens. Stones of various colors and designs can be placed near lily pools, along streams, waterfalls. It improves the look of the area to a great extent. In addition to this, bird bath, a large bowl-shaped container fixed over a pillar of about 1 meter height. In this, in this bird bath, water is stored in the bowl of the birds to come and drink bath. It should be placed in a quiet place to attract birds. Statues of inanimate objects can be used. They are made up of bronze, stone, copper, or concrete. Statues can be placed in the midst of a running stream of water, along the border of a big lawn, at the cross section of two roads, and at the end of a road or near the doorway of the house. The next non-living component, that is towers and sculptures, are sometimes placed at the edge of a water so that they form reflections in the water. Wells are indicative of the life of garden since they are supposed Wells are indicative of the life of a garden since they are supposed to supply water. They will many be octagonal, circular. The well may be octagonal, circular, or square and is approached by a long flight of steps. The next non-living component, that is sundials, used in garden to know the time. It should be positioned in a place where shadow from a tree or building does not fall for a long duration because it gives a time duration on the basis of sun shade. The next living component, that is tubs, vases and urns. These are useful for plant display made up of timber, concrete, terracotta, brass or carved out of stone. These can be fixed permanently in a place or sometimes it can be movable also. The other non-living component includes plant stands and bridges. Plant stands made up of mild steel rods molded in different fashion with various six rings attached to hold pots with plants. Used in roof garden, indoor garden and vertical garden. Bridges are necessary item in a garden to cross as a stream. Size and shape, material of bridge depend upon the type of water barrier. They may be made of wood, stone or maybe concrete. Lanterns carved out of stone and should be low and decorative. Metal lanterns can also be used in garden outdoor spaces. Lanterns are carved out of stone and should be low and decorative. Metal lanterns can also be used in outdoor spaces of lands and garden. Floral clocks refer to a large clocks operated by electricity having large arm to show second, minute and hour. The dial is made up of carpet bedding or flower bed. Machinery of clock is concealed in underground chamber. If flowering annuals are used, they should be replaced every season. The flowering annuals which are used for the creation of floral clocks are Alternithra and Irsine. The band stand, a place where exclusively for the band to stand and play. Usually they are in a lawn or under the group of trees so that the people can sit, relax and enjoy the music of played. And the last category of non-living component, that is kiosk. Kiosk usually a structure in the form of an ornamental shed. The main purpose is to provide shelter for sitting and taking rest. Usually made up of brick floors, wooden frame and decorative tile roof. Placement dimension and design should be in harmony with the garden features. That's all about the today's components of living and non-living